Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. What you see on the reviewing table today are two of the new CardSharp 4s by Ian Sinclair. If you guys remember, I have the CardSharp 2. I believe I've done a review on this in the past. This is the Zytel and stainless steel model. These are awesome because they are aluminum and stainless steel. So the frames of them are 6082 T6 aluminum. You can see here this one is anodized in black and this one is a natural anodized gray finish. Really nice anodization and a really nice materials upgrade if you like the knife. I'm going to be showing you the natural one. Really cool knife. It has its pros, has its cons. I'll get to both in this review. Now if you're not familiar with the CardSharp line by Ian Sinclair, they are a folding credit card style knife. They started out as a lightweight disposable surgical knife and then found their way into the EDC world. So this one is really cool. It only differs in a couple of ways if you have some of the previous versions of the CardSharp. This one only has a few little minor alterations. Some of them are just in material upgrades, and there's just a couple of functional differences. So if you've never seen this knife in its operation before, this one you have a little Zytel slide lock, and you have a sonically welded Zytel piece in the tang of the blade. What you're going to do is you're going to flip the blade over, move that little fin, move this little fin. Let me finagle it a little bit, and I'll tell you why a little bit in the review. Alright, so once you got that on there, I'm going to show you. Take that little Zytel lock, roll it forward, and now you have a locked knife. So this is going to have some legality issues in some countries that have a no locking knife law. So that stinks. If I'm not mistaken, this may get around that. I don't think it's going to get around the legalities, but it's going to be up to you guys to read up on your country's knife laws. But anyway, very cool design. Much like the other CardSharps, it's the same shape. It's pretty ergonomic for what it is. It's extremely thin, so it can't be too ergonomic. But it is more comfortable than you would think. A nice secure grip. It almost makes it its own little finger choil there. And it's an excellent little last ditch utility knife / food prep knife or even self-defense knife. Not sure in terms of that kind of rigidity of this knife. Alright, but I'm going to get into the technical specs before I get into too much of the other details. Just get that out of the way. So you see it's that easy to disassemble. The thickness of this knife is about the thickness of 2 credit cards, or 2.2 millimeters, which is about 0.8 inches. The reason I'm giving millimeters is because that was on their website and I had to do some conversion, so I thought I might as well do both while I'm at it. And the length is 3.37 inches, or 85.6 millimeters. And then the width of this knife is 2.16 inches or 5.5 millimeters. So the overall weight of this guy is about 0.8 ounces. Look, that's actually a lot heavier than the original CardSharps, but it's all Zytel and stainless. This is aluminum. Aluminum's lightweight, but it's some pretty solid aluminum. So it's going to give you a little bit of weight, but it's under an ounce. So that is definitely doable, which, by the way, that's 24 grams. So I hope my conversions were correct. They did not have any specs on the blade length on their website, so I measured and the cutting edge of this knife is 2.5 inches. The blade steel on this knife is 420 surgical stainless, so pretty good steel. And like I said, that is your 6082 T6 anodized aluminum. So the way that this knife varies and the way that they were able to make it aluminum instead of the solid piece of Zytel was, I'm not sure of the process they use, but you have the 3 completely separate pieces of aluminum that make up this knife. I kind of call the flippers, pieces of the handle, and they are attached by this pretty thick rubber, and it is molded into a little track in this piece, and then in this piece, and it's joined together. So pretty cool, and it gives it a lot of flexibility. And it allows them to be able to have 3 separate pieces of aluminum that fold together into one knife. Whereas, as I said before, the previous version is one solid piece of Zytel with tracks milled into them. But this is 3 separate pieces of CNC machined aluminum. So pretty cool, pretty innovative. They're always thinking down there. But the price on this guy is 55 pounds, which the website says which is about 90 US dollars. I did a conversion and it said about 81 and some change. Not sure exactly which it is. I'm going to go by their website, which is about 90 bucks. So, $90 for a little credit card knife, is it justifiable? I don't know. It's up to you and your specific needs. It is very cool. A lot of time and work went into the design of this knife and into the milling of this knife. CNC machined parts. That's definitely going to run you some change. But anyway, to show you guys, I don't have a full-size wallet. This is a kind of a minimalist wallet, but as you see, it is smaller than that. And it will certainly slip down. See, I think it'll slip in the little business card pocket. Yep. It'll slip right down in that little business card pocket of my wallet. And that is what it's intended for. It is a credit card knife. So, like I said, practical application of this knife would be a last-ditch utility knife. It's not something that you're going to hard use or use all the time. It's something that you're going to whip out when you really need it, when you're just absolutely out of a blade. Or even, I say a last-ditch self-defense knife, but this knife is going to have to be kind of staged. You're not going to be able to just say, excuse me, whip this out of your wallet, you know, unlock it, flip it around, lock it back into place, and go about the fight. So it's going to be something that you might get into an iffy situation and you have time to get this out and get it deployed. But anyway, so those are the practical applications. I would use it, like I said, as a last-ditch self-defense or survival knife. How did the edge come? The edge came rather sharp, actually. Like I said, that's one of the things that differs in this model than the previous models. I'll say, let me get it all configured. It's not normally like this. As I told you, I would explain here in a second. The edge came rather sharp, which that's not really a factor to me, even if it was really dull, because I always, reprofile and sharpen my knives. But the edge was done really nice satin finish, 420 steel blade, the Ian Sinclair laser engraved on that side. You can see the marks behind the edge bevel, the cutting bevel, where they had stropped it, or it was on the grinder, and you can see the brownish hue right there behind the bevel. Those are scorch marks from when they were grinding it. So kind of sloppy. They came with little scratches on it. Kind of sloppily done, but it's not bad. It's I think an upgrade over the original blade in terms that it is a much thicker stock. There's not a lot. The old blade had a lot of flexibility. This doesn't have a whole lot, so that's good for rigidity. I said the edge came pretty sharp, and the cutting bevel is done much better than the original, or the CardSharp 2 that I have. You can see it's just kind of thrown together. But not bad for a last-ditch knife. Now, the pros of this knife are the materials. They're pretty cool. It looks good. It's a material, so it's a material upgrade. And it should mean that it is stronger. Should. I'm not sure if this is going to be something you're going to run into with all CardSharp 4s, or if I just had a run of bad luck, or I was putting the knife under some abuse. But I wanted to bring that up and give you some of my opinions to, I think, the weak points of this knife. The parts that make this knife the strongest, I think, are making it the weakest. You can see with this one right here, it's not supposed to do that. As I said, it's 3 separate pieces, but they're supposed to be joined. Now, what happened to mine is after opening and closing it about a couple dozen times, just to see if this was like the CardSharp 2 I had, which was the concern I had with the CardSharp 2, is that it would not remain durable after multiple openings and closings, after multiple uses, which it did. That was very surprising. I thought this one was going to be much stronger. After about 2 dozen, maybe 3 openings, and that's what happened, is that rubber got a stress crack in it and just eventually tore all the way. You can kind of see it. Did this one have it? No, that one does not. And it also started to do it with the blade. You can see that is the rubber, that's what I was talking about, that joins the two seams together. And just started lifting up from the tang of the blade and then the main frame piece here. You can see when the blade completely comes off. So it ripped away from underneath that piece. You can see where it was supposed to be. So that is my main concern with this knife, is that it's not going to remain durable after multiple uses. At least that was my experience. So that was one issue. Now the company has a great warranty, so that's good. This broke. I informed them about it. They sent me this brand new one. So now it was for testing purposes. That's why it's a different color, but that's cool. So now you can see this is what the black anodized version looks like, and then the natural finish. Anyway, here again, I thought that was kind of a fluke. I did the same thing with this one, open and close it about the same amount of times. It was just fine. About to come out here to do the review, came across another kind of issue. You have this little Zytel slide lock, and what it does is that it locks the blade and the middle part of the frame together. The problem I had is that I forgot to unlock it, and I was basically going to do like what I do with the original CardSharps, and which have no lock opens, you just pull it apart. So I went to go do that, and that's what happened. We started to have some separation of the middle piece, which the blade is attached to. The blade is attached to the middle piece, but that Zytel lock is forcing it to be attached to this front piece. I know I said it was attached to the middle piece and the blade. I was wrong, but so I said that little slide lock keeps the blade, which is attached to the middle piece, keeps it locked to this little flap. So when I just ripped it, when I went to go bust it open, like I said, like I would with the CardSharp 2, that's what happened. I had some separation of that rubber and the tang of the blade. So now it's like that, and that's why I've had trouble this entire review opening and closing it accurately, because now it has a lot of play, I guess you will. Now the rubber on the other two parts of the frame seem to be okay. Haven't had a whole lot of issues in this one, but that does seem to be a weak point of the knife. Is the part that makes it the strongest, I guess, is those little rubber strips. But like I said, that's what allows the knife to open and close and fold like it does. So I think that is part a design flaw. Not saying it's going to do that with all models, but that could be an issue. Especially if you have the knife open and you're using it, and something happens that puts some kind of some torsion on one side, it's going to do that. Now, no, this is not a hard use knife. You're not going to use this knife hard, and you're not going to pry a door open with it or do bushcraft with it. But you want to know that when a knife is supposed to be locked open, it's supposed to be locked open. If you're trying to whittle something and it slips, or maybe bore out a hole on a piece of wood, scrape something, especially if you were to use this in self-defense, the stabbing motion, you're going to want to make sure that the knife is able to hold up to it and not harm you in the process. So like I said, I'm not going to blame the knife and say that it's a terrible design, because it's not. It may just have one little design flaw like that. They may change that in the future. But like I said, also, yours may not do that like mine did. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, let you know of my personal issues with the knife, and just let you know that it is a possibility. No matter how small of one it may be, it happened on 2 of the models that I received. Now, it's a brand new knife. Like I said, it's open to revisions. But I just had to let you know as a reviewer that is a possibility. Definitely worth checking out if you're in the market for some kind of folding credit card knife. And maybe Zytel isn't your deal. Maybe you want a little bit better materials. Maybe try your luck. Ian Sinclair has a wonderful return policy, or a warranty, I should say. If your knife breaks within 2 or 3 years, I think it's a 3-year return or replacement warranty. They will fix or replace it completely. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the review. If you're interested in this knife or other products by Ian Sinclair, definitely check out their website. The link will be in the description. Alright guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614, peace.